Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings be upon you. I'm Nye Armstrong, and this is Conver Convos with special guest Sheikh Abdullah Adoro. Can you do Taraweeh at home?
Yes, you can perform Taraweeh at home. You can perform Taraweeh at home. Taraweeh is typically 2-unit prayers. You know, it's 2 units, 2 units, 2 units, 2 units. And then you would want to end it off with the witr, as we mentioned, the 1-unit prayer. So yes, you can pray it at home.
Why is it done only at night? Is it only done at night, actually? And is it only during Ramadan?
Yes and yes. The Taraweeh prayer, Taraweeh it comes linguistically from to rest, right? This word wasn't used during the time of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
Okay.
Right? It was used much later. Okay. So Taraweeh just means to rest. So what the companions would do, or what the tabi'een, or the people after the companions, the generation, you know, even during the time of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, they would pray, you know, Isha prayer, the last prayer, and then they would pray 2 units, salam alaikum, get up, do 2 more units, get up, do 2 more units, get up, do 2 more units, right? In between each pair, they would rest a little. So that's where they get Taraweeh from. Taraweeh means the act of resting between the prayers, right? So that's where it comes from. During the time of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in Ramadan, you know, they would pray the Isha prayer. Then he would pray this Taraweeh prayer. The first night he did it. The second night he did it. The third night, some scholars say he did, some scholars say he didn't. So what happened was the companions, the disciples, they were waiting for him to come. So they were waiting outside of his house. They were wondering. So the Prophet, saw peace and blessings be upon him, he came out. He said, I knew you were waiting for me. I just didn't want to come out and pray it again because I feared that you would think it's obligatory.
Fard.
Yeah, exactly. So Taraweeh is not obligatory. Dare we say it's a sunnah. We could say it's generically a practice of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, because he did it the first day and the second day. And it was 8, as his wife Aisha mentioned, right? Or some would say 10, because he do 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 2, and then offer 1.
Okay.
Which is the witr. So he said the prayer of the nighttime is mathna. It's pairs. And then if you fear that the morning time is going to come, then offer 1 unit. That's what the Prophet Muhammad said. So from that, whatever number you offer is okay at the night time, as long as you end your last prayer before Fajr with an odd number of prayers.
Gotcha. Yeah. Is Taraweeh only in Arabic? And if you don't know any Arabic, how can you benefit from this practice?
Good question. I mean, this is something that, subhanAllah, Taraweeh is offered only in Arabic because the Quran is recited. It's the prayer. So the Quran is recited in Arabic.
And when you're doing that, it's 2 rak'ah because you're reciting the Quran out loud.
Yes.
And like the goal in the masjids today is to do the whole Quran during the month of Ramadan.
Right.
So if you're doing Taraweeh at home, I know this is just off topic, can you just sort of like do like the same parts of the Quran that you know and just keep doing that again and again and again? Or does it have to be the whole Quran?
No, you do not have to recite the whole Quran in Ramadan.
Okay.
In Taraweeh, the Taraweeh prayer.
It's just a common practice now.
It's a common practice because the Quran was revealed, you know, in this month. It's like, okay, blessed, but there's no sunnah, there's nothing mentioned that, you know, when they would recite the Quran in Taraweeh, that the whole Quran had to be finished or anything like that. You'll find scholars that read the Quran 2 or 3 times, you know, in Ramadan, but you don't have to. You'll find masjids, they do it, and that's why you said the second 2 times that the masjid is full in Ramadan is the 27th night, and they call it Khatmul Quran, which means the closing or the concluding of reading the whole Quran. Right? So the Quran has 30 parts. They separate each night, 30 days. They read a part a night. So, So if you're alone, you don't have to read the whole Quran. If you don't understand the Arabic, you know, do the best that you can. Preferably if you could go to the mosque and do it, that would be good. You can hold the Quran in your hand if you want to follow along. If you don't understand the Arabic, it's virtually impossible. But, yes, you can offer it at home, and it's no problem. You don't have to do, you'll see some mosques do a large amount of numbers and some do short amount of numbers. But, yeah.
Like the 8:20
8
debate.
and 20. Right.
So I remember one of my favorite moments in Taraweeh was with my best friend Sadaf standing next to me, and I distinctly remember what I'm wearing because the fans are on in the old building and my skirt's like flying into her. But I had no understanding of what was being said, but I got into this mindful state where I was just being thankful and being like cognizant of where I was, who I was with, what I was thankful for, what I wanted to ask God for. Like this is just all going through my head, and it was almost like a mindfulness meditation thing, and I just started crying because it was just beautiful being part of such a wonderful community, and feeling accepted and being one of them, because like you're praying in rows.
You're literally amongst them at the moment.
Yeah. And it was very overwhelming, and that was probably one of the best Taraweeh experiences. I had no idea what was being said, but I felt that community like straight through me.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, I always tell even kids and converts and Muslims in general, during the prayer, your mind's gonna wander off.
Yeah.
Your mind's gonna wander off. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he even acknowledged that he said there may be a fraction of your prayer that you may not be attentive in. So, your mind's gonna wander off. It's trying your best to stay focused. Now, one thing that I tell people is to think about events in your life to where, you thought about God, or to think about an event in your life that at that moment it makes you thank God, like a near-death experience, visiting a sick relative, a time that you cried because something happened, being alone, and when you think about that, you think about how you're amongst people now. And when you think about it, that's what you want to think about in prayer if you're not understanding what's going on. Just think about things in your life and tie it back to God some way. Yeah. Right? That's what's important. That's what I tell people,
If you're unable to pray Taraweeh, what is an alternative?
I mean, throughout the whole month of Ramadan is just to try your best to do any act of good. Taraweeh is not obligatory. But if you're at night, you got to go to bed early because, during that time of the year, Isha, the last prayer is at 9:30, and then the Taraweeh is at, 10. Yeah. And then it extends all the way to 12.
Sometimes 1 a.m.
And sometimes 1 a.m. and you got to work at 5 a.m. I always tell the community, do not pray Taraweeh if you have to work early in the morning. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. Go home and try to offer 2 rakats, 2 units, and do your best at home. Or you can stay and pray 2 and then go home and then go to sleep. But don't think that you have to pray all of it. Yeah. If you want to go home and read a whole chapter of the Quran or read a story of a prophet, great. You want to go home, on your way home, you want to go and feed the poor because they left so much food over at the mosque. Yeah. You got a trash bag. Great. You want to go home and you want to go and visit your mom, right? Because she's sick, or you want to go and visit her, instead of her watching TV, you want to go over and talk to her and bring some food, from the mosque, or go and get something to eat and spend time with your mom eating and having that intention of doing good to your parents. Yeah. Great. Anything that's an action of good, just do it. Yeah. Especially in the last 10 nights.
And I think, so what's interesting is the last 10 nights get especially busy at the masjid. And I would hate for someone to go to Taraweeh and you said like the thing is to do good. Taraweeh is like a supplication to God during the last 10 nights. You're trying to be close to him. But then your manners to other people during such a crowded place and a lot of activity and not rolling with the flow, like is just throwing that stuff out the window. You know, being rude to someone, being like demanding, just sort of like go with the flow and try to do good for everybody, not just for yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why Ramadan is it's a blessed month, because during fasting, your glucose is low, your attitude is high. You know what I'm saying? So
attitude is high. I like that.
You gotta really watch. And studies show with health psychologists is that when you have less glucose, you don't have enough energy, and not having enough energy does not allow you to make the right decisions. Because making decisions and having willpower, it's like a muscle.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that strength, which is glucose, sugar, to strengthen that muscle, you'll probably make wrong decisions and make wrong judgment. When you're hungry, you can be
hangry.
Yeah. Okay. That'll work.
Yeah.
And that's why fasting is such a test, because even with that reality, you should try your best to stay on good manners.
Yeah.
So when you're breaking your fast, the same token, don't try to eat too much and think that you have to compensate. When you're at the mosque, people may act a certain way. You got to know yourself, and that's why I say self-mastery and discipline.
Yeah. Because
it's disciplining all of these elements that can take you out of your element.
And anything can test you.
Anything can test you. Yeah, you're sometimes you can be in the wrong. You're trying to get to the mosque.
Yeah.
For Isha, and this happens. Oh man. You'll get invited to break your fast.
I could just feel like, yes, this.
You'll get invited to break your fast at a brother or sister's house.
Yeah.
And then y'all want to make Isha at the mosque. So what'll happen is you're eating, you're sitting talking, you're having so much fun, and you get up to make Isha, and you're rushing. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's like Valley Ranch. You got to find a parking space.
Yeah.
So you're like, I got to find a parking space. So you'll rush. And you may run a yellow, it's yellow, and it's going to be red by the time you get there.
Yeah.
To the light, but you're gonna go anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna do things sometimes because you're rushing in Ramadan, whether it's that or for food or grocery store.
Don't even get me started. I cannot go grocery shopping if I'm fasting, because my entire cart will be full of beverages. And then I have to carry them up flights of stairs to my apartment. So it's best if I do not go grocery shopping if I'm fasting, because I'll just buy like juice and water and whatever it is that I find appetizing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I advise you converts. I mean, if you're familiar with dates, if you're not, get familiar with them, because there's a brand called Mejdul dates.
Yeah.
Just get a whole box of those, and those will suffice you for Ramadan and after Ramadan. I mean, they cost maybe like $80 or something like that.
A good fun practice is if you and another Muslim are like, you're friends with another Muslim or another convert. Like, what I like to do sometimes is buy dates for them and they buy dates for me, and we gift them to each other, and then we sort of like break our fast with those dates every day, and inshallah they get those blessings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Like, we're tricking the system.
Tricking the system.
But it's like that intention is just, it's really nice.
Yeah, that's mentioned in Islam, that if you you help someone break the fast, and you get the reward, inshallah. Yeah.
And that's actually interesting. So like sometimes we'll do like iftars at other people's houses, and we always joke, be like, I'm offering this to you. Break your fast with it. It just brings a joy to the moment, and we just start cracking up.
Oh yeah.
If you like this content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It truly does help. And if you want to take this opportunity to join us and support our mission in bringing the basics of Islam to people in a fun and accessible way, make sure you look down below on how you can support us, and specifically our next series called Pillar Race. But thank you so much. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have other things you'd like to see us do on this channel, always looking for suggestions. All right. Thank you. Have a lovely day, and happy Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum.